There comes a time in life when your silence speaks louder than your words, when your absence screams louder than your presence ever did. There are people who never thought you would leave, people who believed they could treat you any kind of way because they assumed you would always be there. But the moment you decided to walk away, not with anger, not with revenge, but with dignity, everything changed. They never expected you to value yourself enough to leave, and now they're losing their mind trying to figure out why they can't stop thinking about you. This speech is for anyone who has ever walked away from something or someone that no longer served them. You didn't lose them, they lost you. The power of walking away, there's a certain kind of strength that comes with walking away. A strength many people don't even know they possess until life forces them to use it. You see, people will test you. They'll test your patience, your boundaries, and your self-worth, and they'll keep on testing you for as long as you let them. Some folks will never take you seriously until you finally decide to stop talking and start moving. When you walk away, you create a silence that screams louder than any argument ever could. Most people don't expect you to leave because they've grown comfortable with you staying, no matter how badly they treat you. They've seen you forgive over and over again, so they believe they can get away with anything. But the day you decide that enough is enough, everything shifts. It's no longer about them. It becomes about you, your peace, and your future. Walking away isn't a sign of weakness, it's the ultimate display of power. When you walk away, you reclaim your control. As long as you stay, you're giving someone else permission to determine how you feel, how you live, and how you see yourself. But when you leave, you tell the world, I choose me. That one decision changes everything because it teaches people how to treat you without you ever having to say a word. The truth is, some doors aren't meant to stay open. Some people are in your life for a season, and when that season ends, you've got to be willing to close the door and walk away without looking back. Holding on to what's broken will only keep you stuck in pain that you don't deserve. The power of walking away is realizing that you don't have to fight for what's not meant for you. When you walk away, you also set a precedent for others watching you. There are people who look up to you, friends, family, even strangers who see your courage and find their own strength to leave situations that are destroying them. Your act of walking away isn't just for you. It's a ripple effect that empowers others to do the same. Some people will call you selfish for leaving. They'll try to trip you into staying in a place that is hurting you. But let me tell you, prioritizing your peace isn't selfish. It's necessary. If you keep pouring into a cup that has holes, you'll run empty and have nothing left to give yourself or anyone else. Walking away protects your energy and preserves your future. You may feel afraid when you first decide to go. That's normal. The fear of the unknown is real, and it can make you second guess your decision. But remember this, staying in a toxic place just because it's familiar will destroy you slowly. Walking away might be scary, but staying will cost you everything. And don't expect applause for leaving. People rarely celebrate your growth when it no longer benefits them. Some will even get angry because you've taken away their power over you. But that anger is proof that you made the right move. They're upset because they can no longer control you, and that means you've finally won. There's a peace that comes after walking away, but it doesn't come immediately. At first, you might feel sad, lonely, or even regretful. That's just part of the healing process. But if you stay committed to your decision, that sadness will eventually turn into strength. One day, you'll look back and thank yourself for having the courage to leave. The power of walking away is this. You don't need to fight, explain, or convince anyone of your worth. You simply leave, and in your absence, the truth becomes clear. People start to realize who you really were and what they lost, but by then, it's too late. He took your presence for granted. There's something about human nature. We don't appreciate what we have until it's gone. When you were there, he thought you'd always be there. He assumed you'd keep forgiving him, keep showing up, keep giving your love no matter how little he gave in return. He got comfortable, and comfort breeds carelessness. You see, he didn't just take you for granted, he took your kindness as weakness. He thought he could get away with things because you had a soft heart. And the more you stayed, the more he pushed the limits. That's how people operate when they don't fear losing you. The day you decided to walk away was the day everything changed for him. Suddenly, the person he used to see every day was gone. The text messages weren't being answered. The phone calls went straight to voicemail. Your laughter, your presence, your energy, all of it disappeared. And that's when reality hit him like a freight train. What he didn't realize was that you weren't just a person in his life. You were the glue holding so many things together. You brought balance, joy, and stability. But because you gave it so freely, he assumed it would always be there. He was wrong. When people take you for granted, they stop putting in effort. They start to believe you'll tolerate anything. But when you leave, you teach them a lesson they'll never forget. Access to you is a privilege, not a right. He's replaying everything in his mind now, trying to figure out where he went wrong. But the truth is, you warned him. You gave him chances. You spoke up about your needs, and he ignored you. Walking away wasn't your first choice, it was your last resort. And now he's obsessed. Not because he loves you more than he did before, but because he realizes the void your absence created. People don't miss you because they suddenly changed. They miss you because life feels colder without you in it. Here's the beauty of it all. Walking away forces people to see your value without you ever having to explain it. While you were there, he couldn't see it clearly. But now that you're gone, it's all he can think about. That's why he's calling, texting, and obsessing, because he's haunted by the loss of something he never thought he'd lose. You can't teach people to value you with words. You teach them by removing yourself. And once they see what life is like without you, they'll never forget it. That's the power of presence and absence. Obsession comes from realization. Obsession doesn't happen when everything is going well. It happens when someone realizes what they had only after it's gone. In the beginning, he didn't think much about losing you. He thought you'd always be around, waiting on him to get it together. But the moment you walked away, something shifted inside of him. That's when he finally understood who you were and what you brought into his life. At first, he might have brushed it off, thinking you'd come back like you always did. But days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, and you stayed gone. That's when panic set in. He started checking his phone constantly, scrolling through old pictures, rereading old messages, trying to find a way to pull you back into his world. You see, obsession isn't really about love. It's about the mind refusing to accept a new reality. He's not just missing you. He's missing the comfort you provided, the stability you gave, the way you always had his back, even when he didn't deserve it. Now, that void is eating at him, and it's driving him crazy. When someone realizes they had something rare and they lost it, their thoughts become consumed with regret. They replay every moment, every conversation, every mistake. They wonder how they didn't see it sooner. That's where obsession is born, in the space between realization and regret. This is why he's calling, texting, and maybe even showing up in places he never used to go. He's not just trying to reach you. He's trying to reach the version of himself that had you in his life. But what he doesn't understand is that his access to you expired the day he failed to appreciate you. Obsession often disguises itself as love, but don't confuse the two. Love is gentle, patient, and giving. Obsession is selfish, desperate, and controlling. When he's suddenly obsessed with you after you've walked away, it's not because he wants to love you better, it's because he wants to regain what he lost for his own comfort. The beautiful thing about walking away is that it forces him to sit with his thoughts. Without you to fix his problems or soothe his ego, he has no choice but to face the consequences of his actions. That's why he's spiraling now. He never prepared himself for life without you, and now he's realizing just how empty his world feels. But here's the key: his obsession is not your responsibility. You don't owe him a second chance just because he's finally waking up. Sometimes people need to sit in their pain and learn their lesson without you coming to save them. The truth is, obsession will fade, but the memory of losing you will stay with him forever. That's what happens when someone takes a blessing for granted. They spend the rest of their life wishing they could undo the moment they lost it. And you, my friend, are that blessing he'll never forget. You didn't lose him. He lost you when you walk away. It's easy to feel like you've lost something. You might even grieve the relationship or the dreams you had for it. But the truth is, you didn't lose anything. He lost you. He lost the love, the loyalty, the support, and the light you brought into his world. You see, you were the prize all along. You were the one who gave without taking, who stayed when things were hard, who poured into him even when you were running on empty. That kind of heart is rare, and he didn't deserve it. When you walked away, you didn't lose him, you released dead weight that was holding you back. He, on the other hand, lost everything. He lost someone who genuinely cared for him. He lost someone who believed in him even when he didn't believe in himself. He lost someone who brought joy into his life even when he didn't deserve it. And now he has to live with the reality that he'll probably never find someone like you again. When you start to feel sadness creeping in, remind yourself of this. You didn't walk away from love. You walked away from neglect, disrespect, and broken promises. You walked away from being taken for granted. That's not a loss, that's freedom. The pain you feel now is temporary, but his regret will be permanent. Because as much as you may hurt from leaving, he's going to hurt even more watching you heal, grow, and thrive without him. That's a pain he created for himself, and don't let anyone tell you that walking away makes you weak or bitter. It takes incredible strength to leave someone you love because you finally realized you love yourself more. You didn't leave to hurt him. You left to save you. One day, he'll look back and realize he lost the best thing that ever happened to him. He'll see you shining, living your best life, and he'll be haunted by the thought of what could have been. That's not your problem to fix. That's his cross to bear. When you see him obsessing, texting, or trying to come back, understand that his actions aren't proof of change, they're proof of desperation. Real change takes time and consistency, not just a flood of messages when he's afraid of losing you forever. Remember this: walking away wasn't the end of your story. It was the beginning of a better one. You didn't lose him. He lost you, and that's a loss he'll never get over. Strength is silent, not loud. There's a power in silence that most people underestimate. When you walked away, you didn't have to slam doors, curse him out, or make a scene. You didn't need to prove a point or explain yourself over and over again. You simply left, and that silence spoke volumes. Strength isn't about how loudly you can yell or how many threats you can make. True strength is quiet. It's in the calm decision to choose peace over chaos, dignity over drama, and self-respect over proving someone wrong. When you stopped responding to his calls and texts, it shook him. He expected you to fight for him, to beg him to see your worth. But instead, you gave him nothing but silence, and that's when he started to realize the depth of what he lost. Silence is powerful because it forces the other person to sit with their thoughts. When you stop engaging, you take away their control. They can no longer manipulate you with words or pull you back into the same cycle of hurt. Your silence becomes their mirror, reflecting all the things they did to cause this outcome. At first, he might have mistaken your silence for weakness. He may have thought you were too hurt to speak up. But as time went on, he realized that your silence was intentional, and that realization cut deeper than any words ever could. When you walk away quietly, you protect your energy. You don't waste time trying to convince someone to see your value. You let them figure it out on their own, and by the time they do, you're already far ahead, healing and growing in ways they can't touch. This kind of strength confuses people. They expect anger, arguments, and drama, but instead they get grace and distance, and that drives them crazy because they can't control it. He's obsessed now because he doesn't understand how you can be so calm, so composed, so unbothered. That silence has him questioning everything: his choices, his worth, and his future. Your quiet strength sends a message. I know my value, and I refuse to lower my standards just to keep you. That's the most powerful message you can ever send. And the best part, silence leaves space for God, the universe, or whatever you believe in to work on your behalf. When you stop fighting battles that aren't yours, you allow greater forces to step in and handle what you no longer have to. His regret is his lesson, not your responsibility when you finally walked away. He didn't just lose you, he lost the safety net he'd been depending on for so long. At first, he probably thought you were bluffing. He thought he could do the bare minimum, come back with a few sweet words, and you'd take him right back like nothing ever happened. But when he realized you were serious, when he saw you weren't turning around this time, regret started to settle in. And let me tell you something. That regret is his lesson to learn, not your burden to carry. Too many times, people walk away from a toxic relationship only to come back because they feel sorry for the other person. They see them hurting, crying, or begging, and they mistake that desperation for love. But there's a difference between love and regret. Love shows up consistently and values you before you're gone. Regret only shows up when someone realizes they've lost access to what they took for granted. His tears don't erase his actions. His late night texts don't rewrite the times he dismissed you, ignored you, or made you feel like you weren't enough. His pain now is simply the price he has to pay for the way he treated you before. It's not your job to ease that pain. You see, growth happens in discomfort. If you rush back to comfort him, you rob him of the very lesson he needs to learn. If he doesn't sit in that regret, if he doesn't face the consequences of his behavior, he'll never change. He'll repeat the same patterns, not just with you, but with anyone who comes after you. By walking away and staying gone, you're teaching him a lesson that words never could. You're showing him that access to you is a privilege, not a guarantee. That's a lesson he'll remember every time he thinks about how easily he could have kept you if only he'd treated you right. It's not cold-hearted to let someone face their regret alone. It's self-respect. Because here's the truth. If you go back too soon, he won't learn the value of what he lost. He'll just learn that he can mistreat you, cry a little, and get you back. That's not love, that's manipulation. His obsession right now isn't about fixing himself. It's about fixing his comfort. He wants things to go back to the way they were because it was easier for him when you were still there to carry the weight of the relationship. But you're not his healer. You're not his savior. You're not his emotional rehab center. The pain he's feeling is his teacher. Every sleepless night, every unanswered call, every moment he spends thinking about you is part of the lesson he created for himself. It's the natural consequence of taking a good thing for granted. And while he's learning that lesson, you have your own responsibility to keep growing, keep healing, and keep moving forward. His regret is not your chain. Don't let it drag you back into a situation you've already outgrown. Stay focused on your growth. Walking away is only the first step. The real transformation happens in what you do after you leave. It's tempting to focus on whether he's watching, whether he's regretting, whether he's still obsessed with you. But that's a distraction. The most powerful thing you can do after walking away is to turn your attention inward and focus on your growth. You've been through a lot. Loving someone who didn't value you takes a toll on your mind, your heart, and your spirit. This is your time to heal. This is your season to pour into yourself the same way you used to pour into him. Maybe there are dreams you put on hold while you were busy supporting him. Maybe there are goals you pushed aside because the relationship took up all your energy. Now is the time to pick those dreams back up and run after them with everything you've got. When you focus on your growth, you shift the narrative. You stop being the person who was left hurt and become the person who rose from the pain stronger than ever. Your growth becomes a silent testimony of your resilience. He might still be watching. He might still be obsessing over you, checking your social media, trying to figure out what you're doing. Let him watch. Every step you take toward your healing is a reminder to him of what he lost and a reminder to you of how far you've come. Growth isn't just about success. It's about peace. It's about finding yourself again after losing so much of yourself in that relationship. It's about rediscovering the things that make you happy, fulfilled, and alive. Don't waste your energy trying to prove anything to him. You don't need to post things to make him jealous or send messages to get his attention. Your silence and your progress are proof enough. The more you grow, the clearer it becomes to everyone, including him, that you were the blessing all along. Healing takes time, and it won't always be easy. There will be days when you miss him, days when you question your decision, days when you wonder if you should go back. Those are the moments you have to remind yourself why you left in the first place. You didn't walk away just to go in circles. You walked away to break the cycle. Stay focused on the person you are becoming. Because one day you'll look in the mirror and realize that walking away wasn't the end of your story. It was the beginning of the best chapter of your life. Never go back to what broke you. The most dangerous thing you can do after walking away is to return to the very thing that broke you. It's like leaving a burning house only to run back inside because you miss the memories. You left for a reason. That reason hasn't changed just because he's now obsessed or regretful. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. If he disrespected you, ignored you, or made you feel small, those actions speak louder than any apology ever could. Words are easy, change is hard, and real change takes time, not just a few weeks of him missing you. The moment you go back too soon, you teach him that your boundaries don't matter. You teach him that he can hurt you, cry a little, and then get you back whenever he wants. That's not love, that's a cycle of pain. Walking away took strength, but staying gone requires even more strength, because the truth is, it's not just him you're fighting against. You're fighting your own memories, your own emotions, your own desire for what you wish the relationship could have been. But here's the thing, your future is not in the past. The life you deserve can't grow in the same soil where you were once mistreated. If you go back, you'll only delay your healing and prolong the lesson you were supposed to learn. He's obsessed now because he finally realizes what he lost. That's his problem. Don't make it your problem by going back to fix him. His obsession isn't proof that he's changed. It's proof that he's uncomfortable. Think about how far you've come since you left. The nights you cried, the days you questioned yourself, the strength it took to rebuild your life. Don't throw that away just because someone is finally giving you the attention they should have given you from the start. Never settle for a temporary fix when what you need is permanent peace. Going back will only give you a temporary high followed by an even deeper hurt. Staying away will give you lasting freedom and the chance to create a life that truly fulfills you. You didn't go through all that pain just to return to it. Walking away was the start of your healing. Staying away is how you finish the journey. Choose yourself, always, because the version of you that had the courage to leave deserves to see what life looks like on the other side of heartbreak. He didn't expect you to walk away. Now he's obsessed. Life has a way of revealing the truth when we least expect it. You walking away wasn't just about leaving him, it was about choosing yourself, your peace, and your future. It was about breaking free from a cycle that was never meant to hold you. He never saw it coming because he thought you'd always be there, no matter how little he gave, no matter how much he took. But the moment you chose to walk, everything changed. Now he's obsessed, replaying every word, every memory, every moment he had with you. That obsession isn't love. It's the haunting realization of what he's lost. He didn't expect you to find the strength to leave, but now he can't stop thinking about the person who finally showed him what real strength looks like. This entire journey wasn't about proving him wrong. It wasn't about making him regret his choices, even though he does. This was about you stepping into the fullness of who you are. You didn't lose him, he lost you. He lost the best thing he ever had because he didn't value it when it was right in front of him. And while he sits with his regret, you get to rise, you get to heal, you get to grow into the version of yourself that no longer has to settle for less than you deserve. His regret is his burden, not yours. His obsession is his consequence, not your responsibility. Remember this. Walking away was never the end of your story. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with purpose, love, and peace. It was you telling the world, I will never again compromise my worth for someone who can't see it. He may always be obsessed with you. He may always wonder if you'll come back. But your job is not to look back. Your job is to keep moving forward, to keep building a life so beautiful that the pain of your past becomes nothing but a distant memory. Never go back to what broke you. Never trade your healing for temporary attention. Never forget the strength it took to walk away. Because one day, you'll look around and realize that everything you thought you lost was just making space for everything you truly deserve. So let him be obsessed. Let him regret. Let him wish he had done better. While he's stuck in the past, you'll be living in a future so bright that no amount of obsession could ever pull you back. You are not his mistake to fix, you are your own miracle to create. Walk boldly into the life ahead of you and never apologize for choosing yourself. The ending of that relationship wasn't the end of you, it was the beginning of your freedom. He didn't expect you to walk away. But now he'll spend the rest of his life remembering the day you did, and you'll spend the rest of your life grateful that you never looked back.